they kind of came to the conclusion that I was gonna drop engineering sooner or later. Like I couldn't drop bankery, I had to drop engineering.
That right there, that's the moment of commitment. Starting a cheesecake business isn't just about loving to bake, it's about making tough calls. If you're serious about making your cheesecake dream a reality and not just a hobby that fizzles out, stick with me. We're looking at real stories, and missing these insights could be the difference between a booming bakery and a forgotten recipe.
But then I found a niche. So I always tell people who want to start a business, find a niche and tap into it.
Okay.
So Augusta, Georgia, there's no cheesecake factory within 100 miles of this place.
Correct.
Okay, find a niche. You hear this all the time, right? But Ariel here nails why it's crucial. She didn't just say, I make good cheesecake. She saw a gap. No cheesecake factory nearby. That's market research 101, even if it's just you looking around your town. What are people missing? Is it a specific type of cheesecake, like minis, which she also mentions later? Is it a dietary option like vegan or gluten-free that's underserved? Don't just bake what you love. Bake what a market is hungry for and isn't getting easily. That's your starting point for a business, not just a passion project.
Only lifestyle you have is every day coming to work and then after work straight away go back home. So we do not have like going to park, going to meet friends. It's boring but it's quite fun because it's your own business. Passion that leads me to continue doing it every day.
He's not sugarcoating it, and that's real. Boring, but it's quite fun because it's your own business. That's the entrepreneur's paradox. The daily grind, especially in food, can be repetitive and isolating. No pub nights, less friend time. If you're not fueled by a genuine passion for your creation and the drive to build something, that boring part will crush you. This isn't just a job, it's a lifestyle choice, especially in the early days. You gotta ask yourself if you're ready for that level of dedication before you invest your savings. And speaking of dedication, if you're serious about this cheesecake business, or any business really, you absolutely need a website. It's your 24/7 storefront, your menu, your story. Honestly, without one, your chances of making it are pretty slim these days. You need it to be up and running smoothly. I've actually been using a free tool called Uptime Card. It helps you monitor if your site is down, gives you alerts, and even offers some neat tech advice based on what other successful sites are using. Plus, you can create these cool uptime cards to show off your site's reliability. Definitely worth checking out to make sure your online presence is solid from day one.
I had health issues. I went from looking the best I did in my life to gaining 10 kgs in a month. And you can imagine the mental impact that had on me. Why is this happening? Like, I worked so hard to get to where I am. Why is this happening? And now I think of it as like a message from God to re-evaluate your life, you know? You don't have to go so fast all the time. And you don't have to do everything under the stars. And it took me a solid 3 to 4 months to get out of that really negative mindset. It was also during that time I started baking.
This is powerful. She hits a massive personal roadblock, a health crisis. A lot of people would crumble. But listen to what she says later. This period of re-evaluation is when she started baking. Sometimes your biggest challenges force you to pivot or discover a new path. For her, it led to Banker. And notice her product later on, Oob Mochi Cookies. She's not just making plain vanilla. She's infusing her heritage, her unique tastes, that personal story, that unique product offering born from her journey. That's a brand. What parts of your story, your unique background, can you bake into your business to make it stand out?
I've been doing this for 33 years, and I've never seen a time like this, ever. And I can venture to say if my father was alive, he never saw a time like this either.
This is Junior's, a massive operation, and even they're feeling the squeeze. Never seen a time like this. He's talking about ingredient costs, inflation. If you're starting out, you might think small scale means small problems. Nope. Your cream cheese, your sugar, your packaging, those prices fluctuate, and they can eat your profits alive if you're not watching every penny. This isn't just about a good recipe, it's about business acumen. You need to understand your cost of goods, your margins, and be prepared to adapt, maybe even raise prices, which he mentions they had to do. Don't get caught off guard by the numbers side.
I will say restaurant industry, gotta be consistent. So when I started, no one knew that I was doing cheesecakes. No one has tasted these cheesecakes. I started at pop-ups. So there's a pop-up in your area, pop-up market, farmer's market, and samples. If anything, free samples.
Okay.
You're gonna have to take a little loss, but you'll gain a lot of customers putting out those free samples and just staying consistent.
Pop-ups, farmers markets, and free samples. Ariel spells it out. Nobody knows you when you start. You can have the world's best cheesecake, but if no one tastes it, you're just a well-fed hobbyist. That initial grind of getting your product in front of people is non-negotiable. Yes, free samples cost you money up front. She even says, take a little loss. But that's an investment in future customers, in word of mouth. Are you willing to hit the pavement, talk to strangers, and give away some of your precious product to build that initial buzz? If not, rethink starting a food business.
You know, someone said to me the other day, a customer said to me, well, what's the minimum I can have? And I said to him, well, the minimum is probably whatever I can smear off the tip of my knife, which is probably a gram. So you don't need to spend a certain amount of money to be able to taste or have a taste of something uniquely made here in Melbourne, like so many other beautiful things that we have here, you know, from croissants to tarts to gorgeous breads, you know, it just keeps going. And we feel like we're part of that team, or we're part of that offering, aren't we, to our customers, and they love it.
We wanted to take the cheesecake back to its original, say from the New York to the Basque. I like things pared back, I like the simplicity of it, and because of the simplicity of the cake, there's no hiding behind different levels of flavor.
You know, even technically for us, which is probably not correct, to go from a round to a rectangle was the formation of being able to find that center point, because that center point is actually the closest, the less distance to the side. So when you do actually slice through and eat a cake of that sort of shape, you'll find that it tends to be a lot more creamy in the middle. Yeah.
This interaction is gold. What's the minimum I can have? It shows approachability and a focus on the customer experience, not just transactions. He's not saying you gotta buy a whole slice or get out. He's making it easy for someone to just try. This philosophy builds loyalty. Think about it. How can you make it super easy and low risk for someone to experience your cheesecake? Maybe it's tiny tasters, maybe it's a build-your-own mini box like Ariel from Video 1. It's about more than just selling cake. It's about creating a positive, memorable interaction. That's what brings people back and gets them talking. If you master these details, you're not just surviving, you're thriving.